And the first step of figuring out how I'm going to put together those boxes is, once again, to return to the Sanborn and study the information that's been marked up. This first building I'm going to do is 4 stories, 55 feet. So roughly, each story is going to be 13 feet. That'll get me up to 52 feet, and then the other 3 feet are probably down at the ground level, representing the top couple feet of the basement, like 3 feet of the basement peeking out there. And maybe there's a series of small windows in there that let some light into the basement. And I don't know that for a fact because this building has been knocked down, but that is the way I'm going to construct it. And so here in the model, the first thing I'm going to do is mark out the floors. I know that going from the top down is what I usually do. I know the first 18 inches has been formed by the parapet. So this first line that I'm drawing really represents where's the top of the roof. Okay, and so didn't get that one quite right. Let me add that one in again, run it over there to the edge. There we go. And now I'll come down 26 feet. And here's the halfway point. So floors 3 and 4 will be above this. And of course I can just use this nice feature of SketchUp. It'll tell me where the midway point is. See how it's gone blue right there? That's the midway point. And so I know from experience that each of the areas above and below are 13 feet. And just taking a glance here, turns out that's 13 feet also, so that makes that pretty easy. And then coming down here, this is 16 feet, so I'll mark out my 13 for the major floors. And there we have it. So this gives me what is going to be part of the basement, 4 floors, here's the top roof, here's the parapet. And what I will do now is I will copy these lines all the way around the building, and I will turn one of the floors into a component. So all of the work I do on that one floor, when I'm satisfied I've got it done properly, I'll just simply erase the other floors that I have and make copies of the one componentized floor. I'll move the copies into place, and that will allow me a certain level of efficiency to do the work just once. Okay, there we go, we got those lines done. Corners are going to be textured the same way all the way up. There's no sense of me having these intervening marks in here. I'll have fewer polys if I take them out and treat them as all one face, and so I'm going to clean those lines out and drop in concrete texture. I may choose to use a different concrete texture than this one at a later point in time, but this is a good start. And I'll just go around all 4 corners and get that in place. And when I'm done, I'm going to come back and make a component of all of these corners, so I have one structure in the model I'll call corners. I'll have to give it some kind of a building ID, because obviously I'm going to have other corners. But right now, not knowing what I'm going to call the building, I'm just going to make an initial component and I'll call it corners. And let me get that done here. Last one, G, components, corners. Okay, now I want to show you one of the things that SketchUp does for us that is not very friendly, but it's the way that it works. I'm going to make a copy of this. I'm going to bring it out here, and you can see each one of these things has endpoints in it. You see these endpoints? That's from the other stuff. All of that stuff has got to go. And so the simple way to do that is you just draw some lines across, and when you erase them, come down here, when you erase them they go away. And so if I continue to do that, there, to there. I get those lines over on those posts on those corner, and then here I go from here over to there, and that's done. Now the second thing is, you see this post here, this corner, it doesn't come all the way down, and so this is as far down as it went on the building, and as a result it comes in and it puts an endpoint for this line. It puts an endpoint right there, and you know, we don't need that right there. I'm going to add this to go all the way down like that, because there already was an endpoint down there, and even though it won't be visible in the model, by adding it, it has reduced the poly count. And so you do want to do things like that. Make things, there are many times when you want to make things longer than they need to be, in order to even out the sides so that you get the least number of endpoints on any of this structure. Now, next thing I'm going to do will seem to be a little bit baffling, but I'll show you what I'm about to do. I'm going to do something on the inside of the building. I'm going to put that face there, and similarly I'm going to put a face right there. Okay, and I'm going to concrete texture both of those. Whoops, my mistake. Concrete texture both of those, and as a result I'm also going to say, oh well, now I need to bring this one down a little bit more, and having done that I need to bring this one down a little bit more. And so when I'm done, all of these corners will be an identical length, and I'm going to have some things running through the inside of the building, and I'm going to show you later why I'm doing that. I'll just let it go at this point that it's an appropriate thing to do, and I'm fixing the size of the concrete corners accordingly. Okay. Two more faces here, also running inside the building, right there. And I want to do the same thing right over here, but I haven't got a corresponding face to join to, so I'm just going to say out 24 and add that face, even though I know it's not going to be visible on the building. I'm going to put it in because I need it for what I'm trying to do here. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to show you why I did this. Come back here. You can't see any of these things that I've put in. But because of the nature of the construction type, these posts, these concrete corners, they protrude from the walls of the building. And so if I were to push the walls in slightly, like 4 inches, we'll just do that 4 inches. I'll put this one in 4 inches and this one in 4 inches. Now we can see something showing up here. And in fact, what you see right here is one of those inside faces I added to the component marked corners. Right? That is what you see right there. That is this face right here. Okay. Now, by stretching this face all the way across to this opposite side, I'm having a 2-poly face be visible on over here and visible over here. If I had just made a face over here that was 4 inches and another one over here that was 4 inches, that would have cost me 4 polys. And so essentially by running it through the building this way, I'm using half the polys that I would otherwise. And I'm going to continue to use that particular technique all through this construction.